May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
sir.
Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You are Mr. Shahansha K S.
Yes, sir.
Shahansha, it is to be pronounced as Shahansha?
Shahansha.
Shahansha. Fine, Shahansha. You're comfortable in English? Will that be your preferred medium?
Yes, sir. English is my preferred medium.
Okay. So, Shahansha, you must have noticed that we have taken several steps when it comes to COVID.
Yes, sir.
And one of the steps is that we have capped your chair at adequate distance so that you are at a safe distance from all of us.
Yes, sir.
It must make you feel safe. Others will also feel safe.
Yes, sir.
Another advantage of it is that if you believe that you will be more comfortable and relaxed removing your mask, then considering that you are at a safe distance and must be feeling safe, you can consider removing your mask. Would you like to?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Please do. Ready? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Fine, Shahansha. Then tell us something about you.
Sir, my name is Shahansha K S and I am from Kerala, sir. And I had done my graduation in mechanical engineering. And sir, I was a professional athlete. I have been in Sports Authority of India for 7 years. And after that, I have been in CSF as Assistant Commandant for the probationary period only. Then I shifted to Railway Protection Force as Assistant Security Commissioner, sir.
You're currently Assistant Security Commissioner in
Sir,
RPF?
Last month I got promoted as Divisional Security Commissioner, sir.
So you are Deputy Commissioner?
Divisional Security Commissioner.
Divisional
SP rank,
Security
sir.
Commissioner. So you already have a promotion in Group A service of this thing.
Yes, sir.
So you were a sportsman.
Yes, sir.
It all matches. It is in sync with each other. Then why are you here? You should be happy with the service.
Yes, sir. In fact, I'm preferring police service as my first choice, sir.
That I noticed.
And I would see police service as an upgradation of my current service, because as in railway police, there are some areas, arenas and laws that we are not looking into. So being in police service will provide more opportunities and avenues, sir. So I prefer, that's why I choose police service.
Okay, and you're willing to sacrifice your seniority which you already have.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Do you think it is worth it?
Yes, I think it is worth it.
Okay, what are your responsibilities right now?
Sir, right now we are largely into security of railway properties and ensuring safety of passenger and passenger belongings, sir. So it is largely into railway premises. So we have two principal acts, Railway Act and the Railway Properties Unlawful Possession Act. And apart from the NDPS sections and the court pass sections are also there. But there are the two primary legislation that we are empowered to investigate, sir.
But I could never understand. You were earlier with the CIS.
Yes, sir.
Right? Which makes sense that you are in, there we have a specialized force that is into the securities. But why do we need a separate force in the safety and security in the railways? Why can't the CIS, which is otherwise doing the similar job, be given the responsibility of all such installations, like it is already given the airports and all, and it can take railways as well? What is the problem?
Sir, I would think the main reason is operational difficulties, sir. Unlike CSF, which actually protects certain units that are geographical entities in a particular state, railway spans over the country, sir. For example, an offense can happen, for example, sir, a railway property, railway fans in train that can get stolen from Karnataka, and the passenger may go to Tamil Nadu, and he can sell the product in Delhi. So these operational difficulties comes. So but RPF can take into cognizance of the offense, can arrest the person, can go to even Delhi and arrest him. So I think because of operational convenience, and railway being a pan organization that requires a specialized entity that have investigative powers, and the CSF does not have investigative powers, and it is just an outside security agency, to be specific, sir. But RPF is, unlike other central armed police force, has investigative powers.
But if recently we saw that we were talking about the integrated railway management thing, and all the engineering, non-engineering services getting merged, why RPF is left off? Do you believe that railway is not considering your task as one of the primary core tasks?
Sir, in fact, that is one of an unfortunate event that we have actually raised this concern at the highest level, even at the CEO and MR level. But the clarification has been RPF is an agency that handles arms and ammunitions and is more into force culture rather than administration. So that's why RPF has been left out. So as such, I am also of the opinion that RPF should also be included in IRMS. Sir.
Fine, thank you. So,
Yes, sir.
yes, Shahansha, you are in railway, particularly railway protection force, and your whole job of railway protection force is based on a railway protection crime manual. Look, how many parts of in crime manual? Have you read crime manual any time?
Yes, sir, I have read the crime
How many
manual.
parts?
Sir, if I can guess, it is 20 plus, sir. I can't remember exact number.
What are the new things have been added in railway protection force crime manual?
Sir, initially the latest. Sir, 2019 the crime manual came, sir. That is actually amalgamation of all the procedural aspects. There is nothing has been specifically added to it.
Look, one of the major challenges in front of railway protection force is what cyber crime.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And cyber cell has been added.
Yes, sir.
A very technical question: how cyber cell is constituted by railway under railway protection force? Again, you have not read.
Yes, I have read it, sir, but I'm not aware.
Remember.
I don't
Okay.
know which section.
Leave it. Come to what political science.
Yes, sir.
Look, political science. You have to read what national movement, right? In national movement, we have you have to read actually nationalist, revolutionarist actually movement, also called about a militant nationalism. Look, whatever the evolution of militant nationalism in between 1905 to 1920, and the second phase, that is what 1920 to 1930. In both of the phases, look, whoever the revolutionary militant nationalist, their ideology were different. My question, and their ideology is very important in making of our constitution. My question is, why there were different ideology in two successive decades? The first was different and the second was different. Why? Look, the second phase having socialist ideology.
Yes, I understood.
And the first phase not having socialist ideology. My question is why?
Sir, I think it was the need of the time, sir. At 1900s, the situation was more of a conservative attitude was with the national leaders, and they were more into getting into the leaders of British colonialists that whatever advantage they can derive from
them. Look, across world as well as in India at that time, the thought of Marxism, socialism was not properly evolved, and that's why there is no question of affected by such ideology. But in second phase, already India having such type of ideology. Okay, my next question related to what look. In national freedom movement, there are three phases. First phase is called moderates, second is extremist, and the third is mass movement.
Yes, sir.
During mass movement, there are several things emerges which have finally affected making of our constitution.
Yes.
One of them is what Pune Pact. How Pune Pact has been affected our constitution in particular.
Sir, if I may recall, sir, it is
I'm going to help you.
Yes, sir.
Look, the reservation concept for the first time came.
Yes.
So, where in which part of constitution this particular provision has affected making of constitution?
Sir, articles 15 and 16 provide for special provisions for socially and educationally backward and women, sir. And apart from that, reservation is also provided for SC/ST communities in parliament in terms of reservation.
Almost all reservation you will see in between 330 to 340 articles.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my next question. Look, Nehru report. What important provisions of Nehru report has been accepted in our constitution?
So the most important thing is considering the constitution being socialist and
Secular.
republic,
Secular.
secular
Okay.
country, sir.
My next or last question of mine. Look, if you see the DPS having two broad ideology. One is Gandhian ideology, and the second was European ideology. In present contemporary politics across India, look, Gandhian ideology of DPS are in practice at large scale. What is the cause behind, look, acceptance of Gandhian ideology from DPS in practice?
Sorry, sir, I cannot.
The most important thing is empowerment of what Panchayati Raj, local self-government.
Yes, sir.
So what is the reason?
Sir, we are a multicultural society, sir, and there are a lot of aspirations at the ground level, and Gandhian ideology suits to give power and voice to that sections. And as been sir rightly said, Panchayat Raj is a wonderful way of empowering these grassroots people to come forward, to come up with their own suggestions, their own leaders, their own ideas and aspirations. So I think Gandhian ideology suits the multicultural and a very diverse nature of a society, sir. So I think that is a fundamental basic, because Gandhian ideology suits our nation, sir.
It was also valid before what actually 1990. Why after 1990 we
Sir,
are accepting? Okay, thank you.
yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Shahansha,
Yes, sir.
Kerala is having high level of socio-economic development. HDA value is high, education is high, literacy is high. In spite of that, the domiciles of Kerala are forced to leave their state in search of jobs. What's wrong in the economic policy of Kerala since independence?
Sir, as far as the lack of avenues are available, I think there are three reasons particularly for it, sir. And one is the particular nature of Kerala model, that is state-led redistributive policy, socialist policy, and where there is lack of initiative for the entrepreneurship capitalist ideas. And second is, sir, Kerala right now the mostly into the primary sector, and whatever manufacturing that has been happening is in the primitive sector, like coir manufacturing, rubber processing, or toddy tapping, and these are not largely and labor intensive and sectors. And third is largely is the, as sir has rightly told, the high level of demographic indicators. That also includes the high level of education status of the people, and the Kerala economy is not being able to give proper avenues for these people. For example, new startups or new entrepreneurial avenues, new ideas. So I think mainly economic reasons is the core reason behind it, sir.
So why entrepreneurship has now developed in spite of high level of educational attainments?
Sir, the primary reason is being the Gulf, sir. The Gulf is an arena that gives a lot of opportunities. So even in our family, most of the people does not think of starting a new entrepreneurship or being a job developer, because Gulf gives a lot of opportunity. For example, even a very post like a driver post fetches you around 1.5 lakh per month in Gulf area, but in India that is a huge amount. So people generally prefers to go to Gulf and earn money, come back here. So, but generally right now the government as well as the community has been mostly coming up with the new ideas. For example, the Kerala Startup Mission, or the new the restaurant culture that is spanning across the country, across the state, is is been
Do you
coming
think
up.
Kerala model can be replicated in other states like Bihar and Jharkhand and Odisha, which are economically backward?
Sir, I'm not subscribing to complete Kerala model, and I don't think Kerala model will be a good opportunity for them, sir.
Okay, so if let's say you become Chief Minister of Kerala, what kind of policy changes you will like to bring in?
Sir, I will focus on three areas, sir. One and foremost is education sector, sir. I'll focus to give more on vocational and entrepreneurial activities. Second, I'll focus on ease of doing business, and try to take away the tag that Kerala is not suitable for high entrepreneurs because of the high labor culture. And third is I'll make sure governance arena may also there are certain reforms, so that that will become more friendly towards the corporate sector, sir.
India is recently having very high level of unemployment, almost record since independence. What kind of policy interventions are required at this juncture to reduce unemployment?
So right now the government has been largely focusing on supply side aspects, mostly in terms of credit backups. I believe we should be focusing on more demand side activities, for example, giving basic income, minimum basic income for the people or migrants. For example, Odisha has came up with a new beautiful policy called as migrant startup scheme, in which all the migrants who come back from UP they are agglomerated in a park, in a manufacturing park, and these laborers are given fund by the government, and these migrants starting entrepreneurs there, and these are very supportive because the people also feel that they don't have to go back to the other states. They can stay with their family. They are also earning good amount of revenues. So such schemes I'll be focusing on, sir.
Last question. Do you think the new educational policy declared by the government is going to bring about some qualitative change in not only the quality of education but also the image of Indian education in the world?
Certainly, sir. I believe that there are many progressive steps, especially in terms of the new formula 5+3+2 and vocational training being given important, and the concept of school complexes. So there are very much innovative ideas come up, sir. If that is put up in soul and spirit, I think education sector is going to.
Okay, thank you, Shahansha.
Shahansha,
Yes, sir.
in what sense you are Shahansha?
Sir, I am Shahansha in terms of my father's dream, sir. I am, the literal terms is King of Kings. So, if I may allowed to say, I am the King of Kings for my father's dream, sir. So, in that terms, yes.
Okay, okay. Recently, Communist Party of China has completed its 100 years.
Yes, sir.
Why a communist in India is not successful? Means their politics, they have only a few limited area of influence in India. Why is it so? You are also a student of PSIR.
Sir, I can think of two major reasons for that, sir. First is, sir, communist polity is actually cadre-based politics, sir. And the root strength of communists is the cadre that is present at the local level. And somewhere down the line, the cadres are not meeting the public, these were largely present in West Bengal or Tripura politics. So we can see the cadre lost connection with the grassroots public, and they were not able to meet up the demands. For example, Kerala, the cadre is very strong. For example, sir, even marriages, the cadre, the local cadre come and they build the tents, they help in preparation of food. So such level of community engagement ensures the people support to them. So that is lacking in other states. And second is there is lack of ideological coherence. So in terms of the social policy they form, for example, Singur or West Bengal or other land movements. So down the line, they were not able to meet their ideological coherence. So these actually affects the core communist who believes in certain principles. So I think these are the two major reasons in which a communist is not able to gain whatever they have been able to say.
Okay. Nowadays in our country, there is a lot of discussion about uniform civil code.
Yes.
What is your opinion on this? We should go for the uniform civil code or not? What are the challenges?
So my opinion is, of course, to ensure we should have a uniform civil code, but this is not the right time. There is a lot of groundwork need to be done. The first and foremost challenges regarding is getting a consensus of all the communities. Second is the narrative, sir. There's a perception management that has to be made, because before implementing the uniform civil code. And sir, more than uniform civil code, we need to start by pieces and pieces, sir. For example, we can, for example, marriages or inheritance, we can have one policy for inheritance or one policy for marriages. So slowly we can make all the things together rather than one uniform civil code that completely, when it comes together, it will be difficult. For example, adoption is not allowed in Sharia, but Supreme Court has told that adoption is the right of the child, and Sharia is not about constitution. So such progressive judgments have came. So I think proper groundwork has to be done.
Okay. Yes. Last question from my side, Sensa. What are your weaknesses?
sir, some of my weaknesses are, sir, right now I'm not good at driving, and I don't know cooking, sir, and my handwriting is also not good, sir.
Why you don't know cooking?
Sir, I think
Reasons?
right, sir.
Reasons?
Sir, my mother, sir, my mother, she never allowed me, so I think, but I'm learning now, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all from my
Thank you,
side.
sir.
Shahansha, you have been a professional sprinter, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me who is having the international record of 100 meter?
Sir, 100 meters.
Yes.
Sir, Usain Bolt,
What is the timing?
9.58 seconds.
9.1. What is his best timing in 200 meter?
Sir, that is 19.19, sir.
19.58. When did he achieve this feat?
Sir, I think it is in London World Championship, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, this RPF has been given the status of organized group A service, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me what are the attributes of one service by virtue of which it becomes an organized service?
Yes, sir. Sir, once a service is termed in organized service, you have a specified recruitment rules, and you
That's
get,
fine. That's point number one. Point
Yes,
number two.
point number 2, you get enrolled in the central staffing scheme,
Okay.
and sir, third is
Means you have the opportunity of being placed as joint secretary in many ministries at
Yes,
central
sir, yes,
level, right?
sir.
Okay.
and
Third.
third is you are in you are recruited to a service rather than to a post. For example, my recruitment is towards Indian Railway Protection Force service rather than Assistant Security Commissioner earlier, sir. So a service has been created. That
Okay.
is most.
So recently RPF has been upgraded as a service, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. There are two benefits that accrue to you by virtue of being in organized service. One is NFFU,
Yes, sir.
non-functional financial
Financial
upgradation,
upgradation.
and another one is NFSG.
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me the difference between the two?
Sir, non-functional financial upgradation is with regard
Is
to.
what you have got right now. Senior time scale you got now?
Yes, sir. I got
6600.
promoted to senior scale, but it's ad hoc promotion, sir, and I'll get on genuine basis. I'll get after 1 year only, sir. This is ad
Okay.
hoc promotion.
See, you don't know the basic difference between
Yes,
the two.
I know. So NFFU, even if your batchmates get promoted, your pay scale will get upgraded to the your batchmate level.
That is
That is
applicable for
NFFU.
NFSG or NFFU?
NFFU, sir.
Okay.
So NFSG, if I may allowed to, I guess it is largely to do with the senior administrative grade officer.
Yes, yes.
And that is DIG and above, sir. And I'm not aware ki what are the.
Do you have a post of DIG in your cadre?
Yes, sir. We have post.
What is the designation?
Sir,
What do you call them? You call them Chief Security Commissioner?
yes, sir. DIG comes Chief Security Commissioner.
And the corresponding rank of IG in your organization?
Principal Chief Security Commissioner.
Okay.
PCSC.
And ADG?
So ADG only, sir.
So ADG entire gusted ranks except the DG is exclusively for the cadre officers, right?
As of now, it is for.
So are you people also fighting for the top post?
Yes, sir. We are fighting.
Okay. See, the government of India, in a couple of years has, introduced this innovative concept of making lateral entries in civil services in the rank of, joint secretary.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Consequent upon this, practice, there is a growing undercurrent of resentment among many, Group A service officers. So, can you please tell me what should be a guarded approach by government of India so as to allay the kind of resentment, and at the same time we should be in a position to do with so means undertake some innovative steps to bring about system improvement in the entire scenario.
Yes.
By way of making entries from outside.
Sir, I can think of 3 reforms that can be made, sir. One is with regard to recruitment, sir. A proper recruitment policy through UPSC need
Okay.
to be done. And second is, sir, many of the time lateral entrants are going to higher administrative positions without they lack ground realities. So before appointing their 1 year compulsory ground posting will be good. For example, as district level postings before getting joint secretary. So that will help them to understand the ground
So
realities.
that will help in the system improvement. What about allaying the kind of resentment that is being nurtured by the people who are in the race but not getting the post because of these guys are coming and vacancy is definitely coming down.
Yes, sir.
So what should be the approach to assuage their feeling?
Sir, I think we can go for more avenues of deputation for the other offices if in private sector possible.
That
So
is
I-
a very innovative suggestion. Okay, Mr. Shahansha, tell me this 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2004,
Yes, sir.
you know, it is something to do with this anti-defection law.
Yes.
One important, provision that was, incorporated in that was the concept of merger. You know this?
Yes, sir.
What is merger?
Sir, if two or more parties merger together, if, for example, if two by third of their members comes together and forms a new party, or if two party merges together, then there does not comes under defection, sir.
So merger means, suppose one party is there.
Yes, sir.
2/3 of the members, they have two positions. First, in case 2/3 of the members go and join already existing party, that is number one. Number two, 2/3 of the members of the original party are coming out of the party, and they are saying they should be recognized the exclusive position. Is it valid under anti-defection law?
So I think that both situation will get
Okay.
exemptions.
Then what will be the status of the 1/3 that is left over? 2/3 are going,
Yes, sir.
1/3 is left. What will be the status of 1/3 of the members who are left over?
I think so they will stay as their party, sir. As of now, I can't recall.
You are
sir.
sure
I
about
think
this, or you are making
No,
only
sir.
a logical interpretation?
I'm just making logical interpretation, sir. I'm not sure about
Okay.
what if there is any changes in heaven. I'm not aware, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Okay, Shahansha.
Yes, sir.
Shahansha, I was looking closely when you were discussing this impact of Gulf on the socioeconomics
Yes.
thing in your state. Another example nowadays we look at is the Punjab, where also there is a huge diaspora.
Yes, sir.
And when this Punjab Haryana farmers are agitating, we have seen that many nations, many head of the nations and committees, and in fact UN General Secretary as well, people in Canada, government in Canada, similarly in UK, they came out in support of the agitating farmers. In fact, pointed finger at government of India in these policy. Do you believe that the diaspora is not necessarily a strength? Huge diaspora can actually be may result in interference of in the internal politics and even foreign policies of the country. What's your take on that?
So I certainly believe that diaspora is and will always be strength. And sir, these are the beautiful aspects of Indian democracy, sir. They have a voice, and it doesn't
They have
matter where
voice
they are.
in India. They're agitating is absolutely fine. But UN Secretary General coming out pointing fingers at Indian government and policies, Canada Prime Minister or the UK Minister or MP coming out, obviously under the pressure of this diaspora over there. Do you think that it's going too far?
No, sir. We are right now in a global village, sir, and as a part of it, we are accountable to the global accountability. So, as a responsible democratic nation, we should take the concerns of other nations, and it is how the country prospers and it move forward by taking the criticism, by understanding defaults, moving forward and bettering, sir.
If
So I think
that
it
is the case,
Yes, sir.
then we should be welcoming to also the criticism coming on the current government's handling of say UAPA thing and similar other legislations and actions of the government where the international human right bodies and other nations or individual bodies in the nation are pointing fingers at our handling of such human right cases.
Sir. Sir, there's a thin line between interference and interpretation, sir. So once you start to interfere in domestic, too much of interference is not accepted. But interpretations, giving suggestions, giving their remarks, these are acceptable, sir. But if it comes into more interference of domestic policies, then as a sovereign nation, we should stand up to our values. But if it is genuine, reasonable restriction, reasonable debates, then we should accept. If at all any faults are there, we should accept our fault. We should move forward. So that is my opinion, sir.
Fine, Shahansha. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time, sir. May I come, sir?
Yes, please do. Take your seat. It's going to be your first interview in the UPSC?
No, sir. This is my fourth interview, sir.
Fourth interview in the civil services?
Yes, sir.
What were your earlier scores?
Sir,
Achha, once you obviously got through the RPF
Yes.
one.
sir,
Yes.
160, 178, 154,
And when you got selection first?
176.
176.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so since you're already through mails, and how was your score when you got into CAPF?
Sir, that was CAPF examination. Sir, that was 102, sir.
Out of 150.
150, sir.
That's very good.
That was good, sir.
That was best. So, what's your take? How is your performance today? What are the areas you believe you did fine, and where you believe that you can still improve?
Sir, I think on polity and history, I haven't revised the topics. I just recently got married, sir. So I just came yesterday. So July
Your
11th was my
interview
marriage.
is on 4th of August.
4th of August, sir. So
Okay,
I just came. So I haven't prepared much. So I had to go through things, sir.
See, Shahansha,
Yes, sir.
honestly, I don't have much suggestion to give, honestly, for two reasons. One, you've been through mill, you understand what is expected of you, you are capable of analyzing yourself well, and you can come up what are the changes that are required, since you know the process,
Yes, sir.
right? Second, honestly, I don't have much to suggest. You are doing most things right.
Yes, sir.
There is a definite career path that's going on, and you're very consistent on that.
Yes, sir.
You're already into a uniform service. You're looking for another uniform service, and your personality appears to be well groomed according to that requirement of the service. And it makes sense that the board member will obviously see that they are actually getting a trained officer. They're getting an officer with a person with absolute officer-like traits. You have this critical power of assimilation, which the UPSC has to be checked. You have that balance of judgment thing, which UPSC is expecting. So primarily, you have most things already in place, right? The only thing you probably can do is that one is that in patches there are few areas where you can revise, right? But at most places these are right. On the non-verbal communication front, you have this wonderful smile, and at most places it is working well.
Yes, sir.
But at a few places it appears that the smile is at a wrong place, or maybe since you're smiling consistently, that's where the impact of smile is going on, is not that much as it should be. So probably at a few places you should not smile, right?
Sure.
You're getting what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
So apart from this, I actually don't see anything. You are doing most things very, very right? A little more depth when it comes to social issues will help.
Yes.
Other thing in place, right? Whenever you're discussing the politics, in general, you are keeping yourself balanced, which is good. At a few places, if required, you can have a critical look also. There's no harm in that. Otherwise, good. On this IRMS thing, it was good, but I think you went a little overboard when you said ki hona hi chahiye tha. It should be there. Like you should have said, yeah, it was. We would have loved if that been the case, but government has its own rationale. We understood, and as you mentioned a couple of rationale. Other things, very good. So just keep this, sustain the performance, revise a bit. I'm sure I don't see anything stopping you this time, right?
Thank you.
All the
sir.
best.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Sir, thank you. Thank you for the time, sir.